2019, Pentagon auditors asked the F-35 program a simple question. Where are your spare parts? Not the exotic ones. All of them. The pumps, the panels, the brackets, the global pool of parts that keeps the world's most expensive weapons program flying. The answer came back, and it's printed in the Inspector General's report. The Pentagon didn't know. It had never kept its own records. Millions of parts, worth billions of dollars, tracked in the contractor's systems, not the customers. The United States had bought the most advanced fighter jet ever built. It just couldn't tell you where its parts were, because it had never really owned the program. It still doesn't. You're watching BBTV Intelligence Briefing. Today's question: how did America spend $2 trillion on a fighter jet and end up needing the manufacturer's permission to repair it? Start with the number, $2 trillion. That's the government's own current estimate for the F-35 across its lifetime, and most of it isn't the price of the jets. Buying the aircraft costs about a fifth of the total. The other $1.6 trillion is sustainment, keeping them flying into the 2070s. Whoever controls sustainment controls the program. And sustainment belongs to Lockheed Martin. Here's what that looks like in practice. The Government Accountability Office reports that the fleet is mission-capable, able to fly at least one type of mission a little over half the time. The goal is closer to 90%. Fully mission-capable, able to do everything the jet was bought for, roughly one aircraft in 3. These aren't wartime losses. This is the fleet parked, waiting for parts, for repairs, and for data the government doesn't own. To understand how this happened, go back to the 1990s. The Cold War was over, budgets were falling, and the Pentagon embraced a new doctrine. Let the contractor run it. They even had a name for it: Total System Performance Responsibility. The contractor designs the weapon, builds the weapon, and sustains the weapon. The government just buys outcomes. The F-35 contract signed in 2001 is that doctrine's masterpiece. The government never purchased the full technical data package, the drawings, the specifications, the repair procedures. Lockheed kept it. The jet's logistics brain, a software system called ALIIS, was built, hosted, and operated by Lockheed too. When a part breaks, the data about that part lives in the contractor's system. In 2012, the Pentagon's own acquisition chief called the program's early management acquisition malpractice. The malpractice was survivable. The contract structure is forever. The Pentagon didn't just buy a jet from Lockheed Martin. It signed up to rent the knowledge of how that jet works indefinitely. None of this is hidden, and none of it is a crime. It's intellectual property law, applied to national defense. The technical data belongs to the company because the contract says it does. If a military mechanic wants to perform a repair the manual doesn't authorize, the service has to go back to the vendor. If a depot wants to fix a component, it may need the contractor's proprietary procedures at the contractor's price. Remember Episode 11. Below the thresholds, the government can ask for cost data, and the company can say no. Now scale that from a soap dispenser to the entire aircraft. The economics textbooks have a term for this: vendor lock-in. You've experienced it. A printer that only takes the maker's ink cartridges. The F-35 is the $2 trillion version, except the customer can't switch printers. There is no other fifth-generation fighter for sale in the Western world. The lock-in isn't a bug in the deal. The lock-in is the deal. This is the same machine as the 8,000% soap dispenser, except this time the sole source part isn't hardware, it's knowledge. Follow the consequences through the fleet. Government auditors found component repairs taking months, more than double the target. with a backlog of thousands of parts waiting their turn. Squadrons cannibalize, pulling working parts off one jet to keep another flying. A practice every maintenance officer hates because it turns one broken aircraft into two risky ones. For a stretch of the early 20s, dozens of jets sat waiting for engines because the single-engine supplier's repair pipeline jammed. Then came the software. In 2023, the government simply stopped accepting new jets. The upgrade package called TR3 wasn't finished. For a full year, brand new F-35s rolled off the production line in Texas and parked. Rows of the most advanced fighter ever built, waiting on code only one company on Earth is allowed to write. And the flying itself? Roughly double the hourly cost of the jet it replaced. Every hour, every repair, every line of code. One seller, one buyer, forever. Wall Street understands sustainment is the annuity. The jet is just the subscription trigger, a fighter jet that can't accept a software update without the vendor. Brand new aircraft, parked for a year, waiting on code. That's not a supply problem. That's the business model. There are cracks forming, bigger ones than the spare parts story. In 2025, the Army was ordered to write right-to-repair provisions into its contracts, and Congress keeps pushing the same language toward every service. The Pentagon has fought to renegotiate F-35 sustainment, to move logistics data onto government systems, to claw back pieces of the technical baseline. Some allies, watching all this, have started asking a harder question. What exactly do they own? And what happens to their fleets if the answer is nothing? Episode 11 showed a machine that priced a soap dispenser at 80 times retail, legally. This is the same machine at full scale. Sole source, data locked, readiness held hostage. A $2 trillion aircraft where the most valuable component was never the airframe. It was the fine print. The parts monopoly cost millions. The knowledge monopoly costs $1.5 trillion. And it was signed away at the very beginning, in a contract almost nobody read. The reports are public. The numbers are the government's own. The jet will fly for another 50 years. So will the contract. Every figure in this briefing comes from government audits, linked below. Read them. This has been your BBTV Intelligence Briefing. The fleet is still waiting on parts.